So today we're talking about something which I think we've all tried, which is giving people a pay rise in the hope that it will fix the mood in the team. And I've been there as well, and it works for about 2 weeks. And then what I find is you're right back where you started. You still tend to be carrying the team. You're still wondering why things feel off. And we're going to be talking all about that today. So welcome to Great Boss Weekly. This is quick practical leadership lessons for people who want to run a brilliant team without burning themselves out. And if you're a practice owner, small business owner, a manager, or somebody who's found themselves just leading a team and wondering where on earth the manual is, then you're in the right place. So this week we're tackling a common trap, thinking that pay rises are going to fix a broken culture, because while money might be part of the problem, it's not the glue that holds great teams together. And in fact, I think that chasing retention through payroll might just be one of the most expensive ways to avoid a deeper conversation that we need to be having. So let's take a look at what pay can and can't do, and what really keeps people loyal, what keeps them energized, which keeps them on side, productive, the kind of dream team players that you really want in the long run. So let me tell you a little story about a nurse that I once worked with, part of a client's team. Brilliant clinically, really well liked, but clearly had been switching off over the last few months. And the principal gave her a decent pay rise, and she was really grateful for a little while. But after a few weeks, of course, that spark still wasn't there. And that's because while money can meet a need, it didn't meet the need that she had, and that was to feel like her work mattered and that her voice was heard. And she jumped ship, went somewhere else where she was more engaged and more developed, and that was the problem. It was development and career progression that was the issue, not about pay. And a simple conversation kind of missed that out. So what pay can and can't do? Let's start with a very simple truth. Pay does matter. It really does matter. It is the foundation. And as Maslow's hierarchy of needs has taught us, people need to feel secure first so they can afford the food, the rent, the fuel, the school uniforms, all the things that they need to buy for their family. So if you've not come across Maslow's hierarchy of needs, let's take a little look at that. It's a very simple idea, but really powerful, because people have different types of needs and they each build on each other like a ladder or like a pyramid. And at the bottom, you've got the basics. So this is the physiological needs of food, shelter, safety. That's where pay kind of comes in. And if people can't meet those needs, they're going to be stressed, they're going to be distracted, and they're just going to be trying to survive. But once those needs are met, they start looking for more. So they want a sense of belonging. Do I feel part of the team? They want self-esteem. Am I recognized and am I respected? And then purpose. Does my work matter? That whole self-actualization thing that we get at the top of the pyramid. So money helps people feel safe, but it doesn't help them to feel seen, to feel valued or fulfilled. And that's where culture and leadership step in. But the key to this is once the needs are covered, motivation needs to come from somewhere else. So firstly, purpose. Do I know why I am here? Does this job make a difference? Growth. Am I developing? Am I learning? Am I becoming more of who I want to be and gaining skills? And belonging. Do I feel like I'm part of something, a team, a vision, a cause? Are we trying to achieve something and get somewhere? Because otherwise we're just stagnant. Now, pay can open the door. It gets people through the interview, but what makes them stay, commit, and to care about what they're doing, that's where leadership and culture are really important. So let's bust a few myths, a few common beliefs that often get in the way of pay. Myth number one, pay equals motivation. Well, it's a short-term spark. It might work in the immediate, but without meaning or connection, that spark is going to fizzle out. Think of motivation a little bit like a fire. Money is the kindling wood to get it going, but purpose is the log that we need to put on top to keep that fire going longer term. A team member might get a bonus, but they're still looking for another job because they feel like they're invisible or there's an unmet need that they've got, which we can cover if we're having an open conversation. Myth number 2, more money equals feeling valued. Well, people don't remember the figures. They tend to remember how you make them feel as a person. This is where recognition comes in, appreciation, genuine interest in people. Those are the real signals of value that people are looking for. For example, a team that has got a manager or a leader who really thanks them consistently and really appropriately and really goes after the actual things that they did rather than thanks for all your help at the end of the day, they can really build more loyalty than one who just hands out pay rises silently and just expects it to make a difference. Myth number 3, high pay equals low turnover. Well, if people are leaving for culture, then no amount of money is going to stop them. Exit interviews often show it. I didn't feel listened to. It was all targets and no trust. So a high-performing associate leaves despite top pay. What's that all about? Because no one ever checked in on their well-being. Well-being ranks very highly at the moment, particularly amongst people that are under 30. So pay attention to that. So what do we do instead? Well, if money alone will not solve the problem, then what builds a team that people want to stay in? Well, first of all, role clarity. Give clear expectations, reduce the friction and give people a sense of direction. Be very clear what success looks like in their job, what's their role about, what difference does it make, and where should they be this month, this quarter. Give them a sense of momentum, a sense of direction in their role, and make it very, very clear. Regular, meaningful feedback. People thrive on knowing where they stand. In the absence of information, people will assume the worst. So make feedback a habit, not just once a year, not just once a quarter. Frame it around growth, frame it around contribution and how they can make a difference, how they can get better. And we talked about that last week in the video. And then frame it around growth and not judgment. It's about being present as a leader as well. You've got to be visible. You've got to be accessible. Leadership isn't about being in control and hiding away in your surgery or in your office. You've got to be present and you've got to be walking the floor, catching people doing things right. Being a leader is not about control. It's about being connected to your people. And then a culture of growth and fairness. Fairness means consistency. It means being very consistent with people in the way that you show up. It doesn't mean equality. It means that you are showing up and building growth into people that's tailored to their needs. Their support that you give them, the standards that you have are the same for everybody, but the way that those applied and the way that the support is given is different. Growth means investing in people as individuals through their training, through mentoring them, and then stretching them with opportunities as well. So let's bring this home. Money does play its part, absolutely. Of course it does, and particularly at the moment where the costs of living is particularly high, you've got to be paying people enough. But it can't carry culture on its own. If people are leaving you for an extra 50p an hour, they're not leaving you for an extra 50p an hour. It's about the culture and the opportunities that you're providing. When people feel safe, when they feel seen, when they feel part of something bigger, they do tend to stay. And that's not something that you can buy with money, but it is something that you can build with your leadership, by listening, by lifting people up and giving them a clear sense of purpose that runs through the whole team. So if you are feeling the pressure to throw money at the problem, take a breath. There is a better, more sustainable way to lead, because when people feel clear about their role, they feel appreciated for their efforts and they're connected to something that matters, then they stay. And they don't just stay, they do really, really well. Now, if you want to know where you start with your team, take the Great Boss Scorecard. Quick diagnostic, less than 5 minutes, completely free, and it will show you exactly where your culture is strong and where it needs some attention. The link is in the first comment below. And don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll be back next week with another bite-sized way to become a better boss without burning out. Until then, lead well and keep building that brilliant team.